Hi buddy, Michael here, Flesh to the Father. Today's video, I'm going to show you why you should not pursue happiness, you should pursue peace. Let's go. Okay, I'm doing this video because there's the general idea in this world that the highest thing you can do in life is be happy and to chase happiness. I remember when I was young, I watched a film called The Pursuit of Happiness. And I believe that this is not what we as a people should be pursuing. And that happiness is not the highest level that we can reach as human beings. The highest level we can reach is to be at peace. And by peace, I'm talking of spiritual peace. And it's not a pursuit of happiness, it's the pursuit of God. And you pursue God through the Spirit. And once you realize the nature of God and God within yourself, because you're made in the image of God, that brings about perfect peace. And that's the ultimate state you can reach as a human. Jesus Christ talked about it, about being born again. In Buddhism, enlightenment is the ultimate goal, which means returning to God, realizing you're made in the image of God, and achieving that enlightenment and inner peace. That's the ultimate goal. And I was thinking about happiness. Happiness is essentially not something that you can control, and it's not coming from within. Peace comes from within because within us is the Spirit, or we are the Spirit. And that's the peace that comes from within. But happiness is basically, it's dependent on external factors. So you can't even control it. So for an example, when I was studying about happiness or thinking about happiness many years ago, it just crossed my mind that it is external. For an example, if your football team wins, when I was younger and I cared about it, you're happy. If your team loses, you're sad. If you get the job that you applied for, you're happy. If you don't get it, you're sad. If you ask a girl out on a date, she says yes, you're happy. If she says no, you're sad. So everything that gives us happiness is not within our control. It's basically we're subject to external events. And not only that, but what happens is because the ego can never be fulfilled, even when you get the happiness, that's never enough, and you're always seeking more. So for an example, you may be happy when you get the new job, but once you've been in the job a few months, you start thinking, this is not really what I wanted, or you're not content. You want to seek something else. Like, I've got to get a promotion. If I get a promotion, then I'll be happy. Or it's the classic idea of when someone's growing up is like, when I get out of school, I'll be happy. Once I've finished uni, I'll be happy. Once I've finished university, I'll be happy. Well, once I get a job and I'm earning money, then I'll be happy. But once I get a girlfriend, I'll be happy. But then once I get married, I'll be happy. But then once I have children, I'll be happy. But then once my children are grown up and move out, I'll be happy. Once I'm retired, I'll be happy. Next thing you know, you're dead and you've never achieved peace, which is the ultimate goal that you should have been pursuing this whole time. So happiness is futile because number one, you can't control it. And number two, you can never be fulfilled through happiness. And to prove it, just look at all these celebrities. The more money they get, more. And you'd think that why are these people not so happy? So many celebrities are depressed and miserable and they end up committing suicide. You think if pursuing happiness is the goal of life, why are so many depressed and suicidal and killing themselves? It's because they've taken the wrong path. And the correct path is the spiritual path. You should not be pursuing happiness. You should be pursuing peace. And peace comes from within you, because you are a spirit made in the image of God, and it comes from God. So from God, through us, that's how you gain perfect peace. And you can get in touch with your spirit by meditating, by fasting, and also intellectually by studying all the great spiritual masters and understanding everything from a spiritual point of view. And then once you realize this spirit within, you're born again as a spirit, you spiritually awaken, you become enlightened, then you gain that perfect peace and you can't be depressed. And as I said, the reason people are depressed is because they're seeking happiness externally rather than seeking peace within. And I believe depression is actually a good thing. Depression is your soul crying out to you that you're on the wrong path. If you're depressed or a little bit depressed every now and then, this is your soul speaking to you, telling you you're on the wrong path. It's like your internal GPS system. You know, if you're on Google Maps and you're going the wrong way, the map will scream, do a U-turn, turn around or whatever. Now, depression is an internal guidance system telling you you're not on the correct path. So you need to see depression as a good thing because it's telling you you're on the wrong path. You're not following your soul's purpose that you came into this world to serve and fulfill. And as I said, once you are born again and you spiritually awaken, you can't be depressed. Now, to caveat that, you can be unhappy. You can be sad because, as I said, happiness depends on external situations. And if I look at my life, there's a lot of things I'm unhappy about externally. And I'm talking about the world, the state of my country, the rise of communism, the rise of Islamism or Islam, the loss of all our freedoms. These are a lot of things that make me unhappy. But because I have perfect peace, I can never be depressed. You know, that's what keeps me from, not that I would ever do it, but that's what would keep people from throwing themselves off a bridge when they're completely unhappy with life, is the inner peace. That's the solid rock and solid foundation that you stand upon. And not only that, the good news is once more people are born again of the Spirit, that'll give us the power to affect external circumstances. Because whilst personally, my external circumstances are much better for me personally than they were a decade ago, I still believe we can influence external events on a national level, because that's what things that get me down is I'm upset about the state of my country. But the more people that wake up, we can use the power of the Spirit within to affect the external. And then once we use the power of the Spirit to create a better external world, then as a collective, happiness will improve and then things will gradually get better with the power of the Spirit. And that's why it's critical that more people wake up and become born again, because the more people that wake up and are born again, the more power of the Spirit, and the more we'll be able to influence external situations and bring the world to the spirit of righteousness rather than the lack of spirit and the communist and Islamist and sort of some bad elements of Christianity and religion that have deceived and has pushed the world into darkness. So once we're born again, we are the light. And then the more people that wake up, the bigger the light, then that will influence the world. And then we'll have what Jesus spoke of, the kingdom of heaven on earth, or as close as we can get in this time and in this age. And we may just be the seed, but as long as we're following our path, we're always going to have that inner perfect peace. Okay, so that's the point of my video today, to encourage people not to pursue happiness, but to pursue inner peace. Obviously, you're going to want happiness and you should be happy in life. But once you have that inner peace, you can handle the happiness and that unhappiness as neutral things. Okay, so that's the point of my video today. Like the video if you like it, share the video with as many people as you can, subscribe if you're new, and God bless everybody. Goodbye.